So, we've done it, right? I spent the last however many years perfecting the ultimate resource farming build, so, like, what do we do now? Lotus GPT, generate me 10 million new Warframe slot video ideas. Wow. This is what you people search for on YouTube? Maybe I should have become a games journalist. Alright, I got an idea. Last time, on the Atlas Farming Addendum. But fine, you want to smack talk my plans, I don't need your help. Maybe if you weren't hyperfixated on pure power farming, you could actually get some credits in your pockets instead of just rocks. This time, on the Creditmaxxing experience.
Oh, look at me, I'm the greatest farmer of our time. Yeah, well, who needs that guy? I've got my own luck and persistence, the two things needed to make millions of credits on my own. Yeah, that'll do.
And, like, that's the big thing, right? If you're in need of large sums of funny blue and silver squares, or the humble regional currency if you hang out in the back rooms, you should probably just go to the index. It's very straightforward. Spawn into map, kill enemies that have been so unbelievably power crept over the past however many years, bank many, but not too many, motes, then collect the bag at the end. Combine with double credit weekends and or boosters to taste, and multiply your gains to maximum levels. But then, what if? What if you find yourself so strapped for cash you can't even meet the minimum ante for the lowest tier of the index? Sir, I'm telling you, we have a minimum buy-in here at the index, and we don't accept, vintage Wolf of Saturn VI action figures as an equivalent payment.
I'm a Tenno, legendary warrior field throughout the stars. You don't want a legendary warrior to take place in your puny little combat sport?
You're a legendary warrior, but you don't even have 30,000 credits?
Whatever.
I mean, you want to talk legendary. There was this guy, dragon-looking dude, millions of credits to his name. He didn't even play the game here. He just walked up to flex his credits and left. Called himself, what, the Dragon of Deimos? Now that's a legendary title.
Hold on a minute.
But you know what doesn't require 30,000 credits to get into? How about some turn-based fantasy action? There has never been a better time to start playing Raid than now, because if you, dear viewer, use my QR code or link in the description to sign up today, you can get the legendary champion Elenaril right away for free. She's a gold-armored high elf who specializes in applying AoE poison and then detonating it for massive burst damage. But that's not all. Once you hit level 15, you'll get your hands on the powerful epic champion, Ultimate Galek, a magic orc who excels at AoE HP burn. But again, that's not all, because after signing up via my link, you can redeem one of 4 exclusive codes to get a second legendary champion for free: Torvald, Alice the Wanderer, Cheshire Cat, or my personal pick, Razelvarg, a speed-focused powerhouse who does it all: AoE damage, buffs, and a 20% aura for all battle types. Tuning his speed to work with the rest of your team can be challenging, but that's just the price you pay for greatness. And speaking of speed, act fast, because once you sign up with my promo code, you'll only have 48 hours to grab one of these champions for yourself. I've been messing around with this game lately, and what I really like is the sheer build diversity available. With over 900 champions, different artifacts, relics, and masteries, I can make my perfect team around my perfect champion, Deathhound. He's only a 1-star, but he's legendary in my heart. Come find me in game under the name Zacmo. Thanks to Raid for sponsoring this video, and remember to use my link to get all these exclusive bonuses. Alright, where were we? Don't hate me for this, but if you need 30k credits to get into the index that badly, well, you should probably just, like, I don't know, play the game? In the Big 2-6, credits are handed out pretty much like candy. Doing literally anything is likely to give you credits on a mission clear. In fact, I'd say enemy drops are probably one of the least efficient methods of getting credits. They barely scale with level, aren't guaranteed, and each enemy typically has a comically pitiful amount of creds in their pocket. But just because a farming method is suboptimal doesn't mean we can't juice the absolute pants out of it. Because Let's be honest, smashing and grabbing in the index is fun, but sometimes it's a little bit too much brain activity. Sometimes you just want to chill out with some second monitor content and mindlessly mill through enemies anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. By the way, if you need some second monitor content, twitch.tv/Zacmo. I'm not desperate. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know. Okay, so what can we do to make insane money off of exclusively just enemy drops within missions? Well, if there's one thing I know about Warframe, it's that finding every single credit boosting buff and just slamming them all together at once is a great start. So first up, the Secura Lecta. A whip from the parent sequence, what this goofy looking pool noodle lacks in sound design, it makes up for with a scaling credit multiplier. What's it scale with? Oh, you know, your account level. Yeah, I think this is the single thing in Warframe that offers a tangible moment-to-moment gameplay bonus depending on your MR, going from 2x at MR8 to a whopping 4x credit multiplier at MR18. And while I would like this data trend to continue, providing me with roughly, 7x multiplier at Legendary Rank 2, it doesn't. But quadrupling your credits for essentially free is really good. Of course, it comes with the caveat of having to use a whip as your main weapon. I don't know what it was, but even though I started out kind of hating the Secura Lecta, I warmed up to it after getting my build right. I cannot stress enough that Coiling Viper will be your friend, along with a melee influence build that focuses purely on electricity. For some reason, when I tried using gas electric, it just didn't do it for me. I also stacked on Galvanized Elementalist and Weeping Wounds for even more zappy, and added Galvanized Steel and Blood Rush for extra crit, because even a lousy base 15% crit chance, 1.5x crit damage weapon can be elevated to godhood if you try hard enough. Because that's really what this is, isn't it? The Secura Lecta is somewhat better than its mundane counterpart, sure, but it still falls short of your average melee weapon in the current era of Warframe. This act of ritually shooting yourself in the foot is made worth it, of course, by being able to have the most free increase of an earned resource in the game.
Well, I mean, it definitely looks like a credit hoarder's den. I'm just wondering why no one would try and take... Ah.
You. I remember you. It's been a long time, Spark Eater.
Me? Sorry, pal, but I ain't never seen you before in my life.
In this life, it would seem. It looks like when they cut your strings, you lost a little more than the rest of us. And do you even remember the rest of them, puppet?
I'm here to ask about credit farming?
Of course. Tell you what, since your situation amuses me so, fine. I'll show you my secrets. Perhaps you'll even amass your own hoard of infinite wealth someday.
Now, as for a more difficult increase to your earned credits, ladies and gentlemen, the so-called Dragon Warframe. Chroma's got a lot going on, and very little of it is good, so we'll speedrun this. Spectral Scream lets you swap the elemental damage your abilities deal, and locks you out of ranged weapons while it's active. Elemental Ward and Vex Armor are the most boring abilities in Chroma's kit, and tragically, the most powerful. They're both casted buffs with the same duration, where Elemental Ward gives you a damaging aura that tickles enemies and gives you various buffs depending on your elemental alignment, and Vex Armor buffs your armor and damage when you hit and get hit by enemies. Chroma also has a passive that lets him triple jump, for all the good that does. But what may interest a prospective prospector like yourself is his 4, Effigy, where Chroma, the, I must still insist, Dragon Warframe, who is supposed to be a dragon, rips off his skin, turning it into a dragon that gets to fly around and breathe fire on your enemies, while you, the player, have to run around as this gangly proto-operator because, guess what? Channeling Effigy gives you a 50% armor reduction. 50, and that stacks on top of everything you have, so no matter how much you stack your defenses up on top of that, you still lose half. But don't worry, the trade-off is worth it. Nah, just kidding, it really isn't, I just wanted to say that. The Effigy sits stock still and deals, like, actually no damage to enemies, and is liable to just get exploded out of the blue. But there is one thing that the Effigy gets to have that isn't outclassed by Caliban or Necros. or Atlas, or Equinox, or Korra, or Dante or Inaros, or Uriel, or Araxia, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is money. True to form for a dragon, again, assuming that this sentient longcoat is supposed to be the dragon, and they. Assuming that this sentient longcoat is the dragon and you're just some fucking guy, the effigy has both a 60% chance of extracting extra credits from enemies it kills, which, with how much damage it deals, isn't much, but it also has a 10-meter aura that straight up doubles any credits picked up in it. And on-demand 2x multiplier for any picked up credits, unsurprisingly, can be really useful. Holvania safe, exploiter orb credit drop, just put the effigy down and double it for yourself and anyone nearby. Modding wise, this thing's a mess, I'll be honest. There's probably a more optimized way to set Chroma up to be survivable, but with health tanking being what it is and effigy again literally taking half of my usable armor, I got a little quirky. I use green Chroma since Archon Continuity lets my Spectral Scream also apply corrosive damage alongside Toxin, and along this I have Steel Charge as my aura mod, and Calorvo's Wrathful Advance to buff the Secura Lecta, specifically. Other than guided effigy to move around my glorified money printer, every other aspect of this build is tailored to keep my Warframe alive for as long as possible, including the 4 Tau Forged Green Archon shards that I put on to ensure that I have enough health regen to not just randomly explode while I'm trying to farm with half my armor missing. So, there you go then. Chroma. Like the Secura Lecta, you're making a sacrifice to your normal gameplay to get more money out of it. That sacrifice being the effigy's credit aura. That thing is 10 meters, full stop, and doesn't scale with range, meaning you have a couple options. Play within a single circle like you're in a Mr. Beast video, get really good at ripping your pelt off, fragging out and then quickly redressing yourself, or picking up the guided effigy augment and getting really good at your micro movements. But the thing is, compared to the Secura Lecta, where the trade-offs are slight and you can still work in a build that does surprisingly well, Chroma, when used for farming, kind of
fucking sucks.
I beg your pardon?
I mean, you've got this whole I'm a dragon shtick going, but I mean, really, you're more of a dragon knight than anything, because you're just wearing a dragon skin that contains all your good abilities.
Cease your...
And like, you give up half your armor to a magic article of clothing that can't even move on its own, does like no damage, and to top it all off, it doesn't even get that armor you're giving up, so it'll just die on its own. Plus, you look dumb without your coat. I mean, no offense, of course.
Now I remember why I never liked you. It's that mouth of yours. Here, let me do you a favor and close it, preferably forever.
And I'm not saying Chroma's a bad Warframe. He does have, like, some redeeming qualities, most of which are sadly tied up in his 2 and 3, which make him a nigh unkillable weapons platform frame that shares his protection with his allies. But that's not what people flock to the Dragon Warframe for, is it? They want to be a dragon. By this point, I was pissed. So pissed, in fact, that I was actually prepared to do scientific testing to see if these multitude buffs of widely varying usability and potency even stacked in the first place. Here's the experiment. 4 separate values obtained in the Holvania Hellscrub Skaldra mission, Mishta Ramparts. I was tired of looking at the same Grineer Galleon tile set. Sue me. I would conduct tests consisting of 3 10-minute survival runs, averaged together using the Secura Lecta, Chroma, both, and then a control test using neither. This would let me determine how much of an increase I was getting, as well as if the 2 buffs stacked in the first place. Jeeves, pull up the results now. So, here you go, right? The results of my studies. As you can see, Chroma and the Lecta do in fact still function, and no bizarre update broke something in the background with their credit boosting. The Secura Lecta, as expected, provided a much larger increase over base gameplay than Chroma did, but what I found really interesting was that using both Chroma and Secura Lecta did give the most amount of credits on average, but like, not by much? Now, let me be clear, even with all the work I was putting into keeping Chroma alive, I still did die sometimes, so that could be hurting my KPM. But also, Chroma with a melee weapon just isn't very good at getting kills, and that experience becomes harder again when you have to take into account the positioning of your effigy. if I'm spending half my time moving my little dragon coat around and half the time killing enemies, that is much less KPM than I could be getting otherwise. But it does technically work, so that's something, right? Chroma can use the Secura Lecta, and it gives more credits than if you're using either one of them independently. But now I'd start to say, is that truly worth it? Sure, I guess you're getting the maximum theoretical value possible out of every single mob kill, but you're breaking your damn back to do it, man. Keeping Chroma's effigy exactly where you need it isn't only tedious and lame, it actively nerfs you. It's a channeled ability that, for all your trouble, gives you a constant 50% armor debuff and provides maybe some CC next to the 0 damage it deals. It's at this point where I'd say, like, wouldn't you just be better off taking the Secura Lecta away from Chroma and using it on a different, dare I say, better Warframe?
Yeah, I know, man. There's a freaking dragon here. Just get here, please. I'm sorry.
I don't expect you to understand. You can shoot lightning from your fingertips. You can run at hypersonic speeds. This is all I have.
Yeah, no. I get that. I mean, I get why you would think like that. It's just a bit much, isn't it? You know, the cave, the piles of credits.
I see it now. You want to make me obsolete, don't you? Just like her. Well, let me tell you something, Sparkbug. I've cut my strings. As for a reason, what can I say? I like it when the number goes up. That's it.
If you adjust your loadout around it, providing yourself with more melee stats and priming, the Secura Lecta is great for just shooting to farm some extra credits without using the index, maybe while you're just playing the rest of the game normally. But Chroma feels like a step too far for only the most insane of min-maxers. Like, seriously, this has gotta be the video game equivalent of baking your own sourdough bread at home. I am turning into this micro-optimization monster, juggling 2 different channel abilities, moving my effigy around like it's fucking StarCraft, giving up half of my hard-earned armor to an ungrateful chud summon that I hate, just to get some more credits than if I just used, I don't know, Calervo with the Secura Lecta? A revelation that I came to during my last Atlas video was that ease of use is a real, tangible factor in Warframe builds, and I think most of the time, it's just easier to frag out on another Warframe and get more kills than having to constantly trip over yourself trying to make the numerically best option, like Chroma's effigy, work. I think for the purpose of credits, Chroma works best as a situational buffer. Like, you're already playing him for the other better aspects of his kit, and if you stumble across a fat credit drop, you pop your effigy to quickly double your earned credits. Also, this is me going off script here to just, like, let you know that there's also the retriever mods that you can get that are really good for farming credits. You can either get Loyal Retriever, which gives you a mix between doubling your credit and resource drops, or Prosperous Retriever, which gives a greater chance of doubling your credit drops only. And, like, that's really good, right? Just, like, equip a Beast Companion, use it with the Secura Lecta, or Chroma, if you're freaky enough, and it's more mult. It's more mult for your mult, and everyone loves mult.
Alright, let's see how you like some of this.
That's the thing about Vex armor, isn't it? Seems underwhelming till you're on the other side of it.
Are we really doing this whole I distract and you land the finishing blow bit twice in a row?
And now, you'll see... Huh?
I would like to apologize for my words and my behavior earlier, and would like to ask you to kindly forget my tone over the communicator.
Yeah, sure, sorry. This is a lot of currency. With this, we could pay off the dojo and then some.
Oh, for sure. Just leave some for the guy, won't you? I can't help but feel bad for him. He seemed like he was really going through it. He was spewing a lot about, puppets for some reason. Mean anything to you?
Not in the slightest. Unless he was talking about that precocious Tenno from Cetus.
But, like, DE, you gotta buff Chroma. I'm talking, like, full-on Oberon level rework, because this dude, this frame that requires the parts of 3 other Warframes to build that are all better than him, has been power crept on basically every single aspect of his kit, and, like, I don't think we're getting rid of effigy, right? I think that's just too sort of ingrained in his kit to remove. It's here to stay. But in a world where Caliban blew open the door on Summoner Warframe builds, that flying pelt had better feel like I'm summoning an actual dragon to the battlefield. And like, come on, just let it follow Chroma around for free. Guided effigy's kinda silly at this point. Other than that, maybe combine Vex armor and Elemental Ward into one single ability. Call that shit Elemental Armor. Let me shoot guns while I'm channeling Spectral Scream and also make it do more damage. I guess that would give Chroma one extra ability to do something with. I don't know. Let him fly or something? I'm not qualified to talk about this, but the need for a rework is dire. But hey, we've done it, right? We farmed literally millions of credits over the course of this testing. What do we use credits for anymore, right? What can we even use this bounty on? Tragically, in recent years, vendors have sort of become the norm for getting new stuff in Warframe, so there's not a lot of new stuff that you buy with credits specifically. But some things you can do is get every single weapon blueprint and Warframe blueprint on the market. You can build a lot of stuff. A lot of builds require credits for some reason. You know what I think DE should do? I think DE should just like add a coin gun, like Terraria style coin gun. Give me a rapid fire machine gun that just fires credits in like a stream, and then it has like an alt fire grenade that shoots 1,000 credit bomb. That'd give me something to do with these hard-earned squares / haulers. But there is something. A market item inexplicably worth more than anything else in the game. The Orbiter Captura scene. For a mere 10 million soul-damned credits. Don't ask why both the Drifter Camp and the Backrooms Captura cost significantly less. I'm still not even close to that number, all things considered, and that's messed up because I'm one of the top Captura users of all time. I need that. It's chill though. I'll probably farm up more credits after this video so I can, you know, use that sick Captura scene in the future, but you know, I'm probably just gonna use the index. Thanks again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Remember to sign up using my link and get a ton of free bonuses to start your journey.